Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the place of the world you are today. Welcome to a new chapter of Coffee with Art. Today, I came to Brazzaville, Congo, just to talk with Gaston Welcome Motano. I know him, quite a few months ago, and we are going to talk about Gaston idea or Mr. Welcome. I mean, Mr. Welcome is better about his story of possibility through education. So, welcome to the show, Mr. Welcome. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm very fine. As you said, welcome to the new show. It's also my name. It's not just a wish. Welcome, I am.
Yes. And the first time I met you, I was surprised because I asked you, "What is your name?" Welcome. No, no, you're kidding. No, no, my name is Welcome. So, I mean, I'm glad even though you speak French because this is Congo and here we speak French. But anyway, today we will do it in English. So,
Sure.
uh, let me do just an introduction about your mission because your mission is born from inequality, and we are talking about child with lots of curiosity, but there's no classroom to enter, and you belong to a Skyline Help that was born from a very simple belief that every child deserves the chance to learn. Is that right? And
Yes, of
regardless
course.
of where they live or where their family earns. So tell me about this Skyline Help and some of the mission.
So, well, as you just said, at Skyline Health, it's not just a project, but it has already started with our limited means. So, Skyline Mobile Education bringing the classroom to every child, no matter where they are. So, the target is to provide free, sustainable education to 1,000 out of school children in underserved rural and urban areas through a mobile. So community-based teachings models that operate without the need of internet connectivity. This is the objective. So if we can just try to have a look on project format, we will observe that the Skyline Mobile Education deploys a mobile teaching teams that travel to villages and neighborhoods using mobile classrooms, or mini braces equipped with age appropriate books, readings, and writing materials, table and writings materials, whiteboards, all that stuff that can allow children to get the benefit of education through our means. So, in terms of the educational content that we have, we just literacy, numeracy, and basic math, civic and moral educations, introduction to foreign languages, and practical activities like singing, drawing, role playing, and everyday vocabulary. These are few things on the list that we provide and help people to get benefits from that. So, in terms of the development or schedule, I say there are just 3 days week in each area because we need to move area to areas. This is the main target. Each educators works with 20 to 30 pupils nowadays, and especially in Congo, we're suffering in terms of overpopulated schools, and it doesn't reach the target of teachers. Because if you're a teacher in a given class, and then you have to teach 1,000 or 300 pupils, so it means that sometimes you will not reach your goals because even your voice can't be reached to every children. But Skyline Help give us the opportunity to have a limited class that can allow the teacher to have the control of each children and also help them to get forward in their education with languages, literacy, numeracy, you know everything's regarding to education.
When we talk about the country,
When we talk about the country,
you are only in Brazzaville, or you also in Pan Noir, or in
you
other
are.
villages or cities.
So please, can you come back? You were talking about some cities, right?
Yeah, if you are located just in Brazzaville, in the capital, or you also move to Pointe Noire or to other cities in Congo.
Yes, of course. This is what we do. Right now I am in Pointe Noire right now, but most of the time we move from cities like Brazzaville, Dolisie, and some of the villages as Mangenge, Ngabe. And when we do some turnover there, we do our best not just to give education, but to talk also with teachers who lives in that village to provide them some equipment so that you uh, help them to improve education or also helping people because it's not easy. All of us, we don't have money. And especially you may have public school, but walking, I should say, from a long kilometers just to study, it's not given to everybody. And Skyline Help through cities to cities give the possibility to children to also benefit from schools education.
So now we are talking
So
about
now
you are going to small towns, some of them rural. I mean, you go to the country, and also families with really low income households and children that they have never held a textbook or spoken a word on a second language. And because there are many languages also as well in Congo, not only French, so you're teaching them to adapt themselves both to French and to English in this case.
Of course, talking about languages, this is also one of our targets because sometimes when you want to explain very well the lesson, you need to get down to the language that the child can understand. And by the way, we're not just promoting foreign languages as English and French, Spanish, but we also helping them to know their own language. So we teach in their language. We teach them English, Spanish, French in their language, like Moshi, like Vili, like Teke, directly with them. Because sometimes in order to touch children or children hearts, you need to go directly to the language because most of them didn't have the chance to go to the city center in order to learn French. But when we go to Radems, it gives us the possibility to make them understand about French, English, so that they can face up challenges on the city center.
While I was there talking to you weeks ago, I remember that you told me that you were not teaching by the book, you were teaching by the heart. And that also went to my heart. And it's important to tell our people that the methods that you are in connection now. So you are doing, it's a lot of interactive learning that sparks their curiosity. How does it work?
Well, there is an old saying which says that if you judge a fish by its ability to, go on the tree, you will spend your whole life believing that it is stupid. So Skyline helping children to understand the way of learning because it's not all of us we strong by bigger things in mind or retaining big lessons. Sometimes others learn from images, others learn from practical examples. But if we judge a child by the fact that he has got zero, we didn't touch the heart. Reason why some of the methods that help us to touch the heart of children, first of all, is you know talking to them directly in their language. This is the first point. The second point is trying to find out the strategies that is appropriate with a given child because we don't learn in the same time. We don't, I should say, we don't learn in the same way. Sometimes there are others who are good at retaining lessons in their mind, but others they don't good at that. And sometimes when you show them practical example, you give them, the envy of learning, and you put them in the situation where they can learn at that moment. They will say that, of course, for instance, I remind myself when I was giving a course in a village, you know, people were saying that, sir, I don't want to learn English because English is not important. They are in the village. Sometimes they don't know about English. They don't know about Spanish. They don't know about other languages. But they're just wondering themselves, so what is the importance of that languages? So for when I try to explain to others that English was, very important, they say, "Sir, we don't see that importance." I say to them, "Of course, let's do that." I will not answer to that question, but I invite you to join me in a gift trip that implied to go to the airport. So we've done that. I mean, that getting out. I took 4 or 5 persons with my means. I brought them to the airport, and then they have seen people talking in English. They say, "Which language is that?" I said, "Do you know? It means that where you are talking, we not just talk that same language everywhere, and sometimes it's English. So English is a door. English is, that common thing that can help you to get in touch with other people, especially to foreigners. And I have taken some because I got some friends from United States, some friends, some of other countries who speaks English. When they met them, they start joking with them in English. They knew that they didn't understand, but it was just a way to give them the envy and to put them in the real situation where they can themselves understand the importance of English. And for that way, they start being interested in English. They say, "Sir, we really want to learn that. Sir, we really see that it's very important." And sometimes I told them that, "Do you see movie? Do you see some movie that we can see? It's not in the original language. Sometimes it's interpreted. You see? But if you knew yourself English, you can hear that by yourself without watching the interpreting version." You see, it's very important today, English. And for that kind of way, it helps them to realize that it is important. It is important to learn English, it's important to learn new languages, and also to be open up to the world, not just by focusing in the same thing. That's what are some of the methods that we use. And sometimes for those who lack money, we provide them also some help. Imagine that there is a family that I met also in the village. They didn't have their father. Their father passed away and their mother too. So they remained alone. The eldest told me that I'm the only one. I'm like the father, I'm like the dad. I can't go at the same time at school and feeding my family, my sisters. It's very difficult. I say to her, I know it's very easy. It's very hard, I should say. It's very hard, the situation that you are facing. But I'm giving you the chance not to move out, but where you are, to giving you some basic things like literacy, numeracy, languages, so that you can also be in touch. The lady, because she was a girl, she started learning with me for that few moments that I was in the village. And then I said to her, "Let's do this. Your your brothers who are at school, when they will come back, try to talk to them with the lesson concerning the numeracy, and you will just see their reaction. Their brothers, they went to school. When they come back, they have seen their sister. The sister started talking with them about the numerous. They were astonished. They were amazed. "How did you know that?" "Only us, because we were at school." "But how? Were you at school?" She said, "No, I learned it where I am." You see? So we are giving them the possibility. We are touching their hearts, giving some methods, working with also people in that village to keep on doing the same thing.
So welcome. What you're doing is you're planting seeds for global communication for all those kids from Congo. It's amazing. Do you use visual or audio tools in order to teach these kids these different languages?
Please, can you come back, please? How do I do in order to teach
No, no.
others?
If you use visual or audio tools in order to teach this, let's say, English or Spanish or other languages to the kids, do you have a special method that you use? How you approach these kids?
Yeah, for the kids, I'm going to tell you that, especially in the village, it's not easy to use some audio stuff or some visual stuff. Why? Because they got the problem of electricity. You see, sometimes you may start using it at the beginning, but once your battery will be low, you can't not keep on that way. So the way that we have chosen is like making a document spoken. Like with a document, you make an image, you make, a representations, and with that representation, especially drawings, it will help them to, to learn, because not all of us will learn through sculptures. And the majority of people that I met, they learned from images, they learned from drawing, they learned from some of, you know, the equipment. But when we have the time, especially with even my phone or my computer, I show them some few things. But at, we don't spend all the time by using, this, because we don't have much equipment, but we're doing our best with what we have in order to uh, give them that possibility to have a look on audio, on visual stuff, and how does it work.
So in the curriculum, it's simple but really powerful. We're talking about literacy, so reading and writing in their native and also in the other language. We are talking about numbers. So every day, you are also talking about math. You're also talking about civics. Also, they need to understand about the community and the world. It's also another subject that you also touch base in these schools.
Of course, we also promoting some practical activities like singing, drawing, role playing, and everyday vocabulary. So apart from that, we got also some, some physics, chemical activities that we showing them, not just to tell them that it's a magic tricks. We show them the reality, because sometimes they may say that it's a juju things, I'd say, no, 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 it's scientific. It's a scientific fact. We show them scientific facts with the means that we have. And, physics, chemistry, math, history, and especially about that, because we told them that it's very important to know and to defend the history, because most of us will still ignore the importance of history. The history is what makes us and what
Absolutely.
can place,
No, yeah, yeah. I agree with you that history is very important to all of us.
because in the village they just have you know that all the method of keeping the history, like they will take a young, and we will keep on teaching the young about the history. When the young will be old, we will also do the same to the next kid. And I told them that, do you know, I don't need nowadays that methods, because I start telling them a given story about their own ethnic group. They were amazed. They say, how do you know that? But you seem young to master all that history. I said to them, thanks to technology and especially to documentations, I can read, I can, be in touch with the history even if I was not there. You see? And we providing them some methods so in order to, this is also a given way to show them the importance of scripture or knowing how to write, how to read, because it keep us in touch with our ancestors, especially about the history, what happened, and all that stuff. So that
So
is a big.
when there's no internet, I know that there's no problem for you because Skyline Help, you bring education directly to the learners. So you move your classrooms and travel to the remote areas. Is that right?
Of course, that's it.
And you print learning kits also to provide them. Is that right?
Yeah, this is what we do all of the time.
And teachers visiting their homes or meeting at their community spaces.
Yeah, the point is, we it's like an equation, right? We got a big problem, then we need to solve it few, I mean, a small part. And sometimes it's very difficult to give to child or pupils the equipment. And what we do, it's providing equipment to teachers, especially those who live in the village, showing them how can they do in order to update their knowledge, how can they do in order to teach, and which method they can apply. And we go directly to a practical example. By myself, I go, I teach, I show them how should they do. Because even if I will now stay in that village, but they will keep on pursuing the same vision in the way that I am giving them, providing them, and we keep in touch with them on phone, with the few equipment that we give to them.
And also about the challenges and building features together with your communities in Congo. How do you feel when a child who couldn't read a single word now he's teaching to, let's say, a little brother or to another friend?
So you say that, how do I feel when a child uh, can't
Yeah.
read a word? Yeah, do you know, in that vision, everything is a challenge. And seeing that kind of person, for me, it's like a new challenge. And I can't give up. My target is to let him know about what he's wondering, what he's thinking of. We are doing our best with different strategies to make that people understand and read, especially explain. Because I always tell them that the only difference between you and I is that I learned that before you. But once you will learn that, you will also give it to your child, you will also give it to your brothers, showing them also example. This is the only things that can mix us, everywhere in terms of teachings. By the way, I tell them that we need to do things. So at the end, what is amazing is that imagine a child at the beginning that one doesn't know nothing, but after 1 week, 2 weeks, she's starting making a new step. She's starting even discussing, arguing with you. And at the end of the day, you're like, I did a job. I did a job. I reached a heart. That's it. And then we tell them to keep on doing things because in the world of knowledge, there is no back. We need to go forward. We always learn every daily day. This is what I told them in order to keep on working and on learning each daily day.
So welcome. This is not just education; it's a transformation of the country. I would say because what you're doing and your all your friends are doing is it's making a big transformation while you're moving from city to a town to a different another city and getting all these people and these young kids learning. It's a big transformation. So may I say that to the audience that I now we need all you guys. You can join us for a volunteer maybe, or you can be a mentor while you travel there, or even online, or you can be a teacher, or you can be a donor because I know that also you need some funds, or you can be a partner. So I know that people will be listening to this one. We need to tell about how is Congo, how is the Congo reality. I've been there. I'm here, so I know the reality. I have been traveling with you, but I would like you as a local to tell what are you expecting in the future and what are you looking for?
So, well, before answering to that question, I'd like to point out some key points that makes the challenges a little bit difficult, and reason why we need all you guys to be involved on that because in the matter of education, we cannot be alone. We need to be, united. And by the way, there is another saying in Congo which says that when you alone, you go fast, but when you together, you go farther. So, school education system in Congo Brazzaville faces several challenges and drawbacks. Firstly, the education system suffers from a lack of financial and material resources, resulting in inadequate infrastructures, textbooks, and educational materials. This limits students' learning opportunities and impacts the quality of education provided. Moreover, the Congolese education system also grapples with the issue of overcrowded classrooms, making it difficult for teachers to deliver quality and personalized education to each student. Many schools also lack qualified teachers, compromising the quality of education provided. Furthermore, corruption is prevalent in the Congolese education system with cases of bribery and favoritism affecting the integrity of the system. So regarding to all those problems, we need to ask the question, what can we do in order to change that things? So by the way, we need first of all to create a secretary which can allow us to, by our own means, to make documentation. Because in order to deliver documents to, others, sometimes it's very expensive. And in order to reduce that, if we could have our own secretary where we can have some machines of Xeroxing, we will provide our own documents and give it directly to students. This is the main things. The second thing is also to keep in touch because we need all you guys, especially teachers, people who will be teaching because we are traveling from cities to cities. It means sometimes we're not there for every day, but when we give or we provide to teachers who are over there that knowledge, making some recycle in terms of knowledge, in that way it will also give them the chance to train well students and to some of them who will be, more intelligent, just to activate that part of, working hard. We can also provide them some scholarship, I should say, for those who will be the best. Those who will be the best, we can say that, yeah, we do that. And that will create in them the atmosphere of competition, giving them that possibility to give all they have in their mind in terms of knowledge so that to reach the point because the target is to making every child, even those who didn't have money, even those who lost their parents, that possibility to be educated, to impact the world and to inspire with a given creation. That is the target, and that is in few words what we are facing and what we need in terms of contribution.
Well, you told us everything. So now we need to invite our audience to be a volunteer, to be a local mentor, to be a teacher, and to also to be a donor. Well, welcome. Time is flying, and we have been touching so many different subjects. And I would like to say thank you for the opportunity to talk with you, to show the world what are your challenges, what is the Congolese system of education, which is important to tell everybody. So, and again, thank you very much. Guys, see you in my next Coffee with Art, today from Congo, tomorrow from another different city around the world. Thank you and bye bye.
Bye.